What's up everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Now, as summertime is in full swing, today's video is very exciting because we are going to be talking about general law school application advice. If you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel. I graduated from UC Berkeley in the class of 2020, where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. Since graduation, I've been working as a paralegal, first at an IP law firm, and then second in environmental law litigation. And this fall, I'm going to be starting law school at UNC. So if you're a student interested in applying to law school, definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. We are offering law school application and med school application services. So without further ado, let's jump into this law school application advice video. The first thing that I would recommend you all do is create a new email address for your law school apps. I wouldn't use your undergrad email address. You might lose access after graduating. I wouldn't even use another email that you already have because it could get confusing if you're getting a lot of emails. I created an entirely new Gmail account just for law school admissions so that I could direct all my law school stuff to that email. It was easy to see everything. Nothing was getting lost in the jumble of my other email accounts that might get a lot of spam emails. So I thought the new email address was very helpful because I could keep everything organized in order. I wasn't missing any important dates, deadlines, emails because that email had less traffic compared to my other accounts that get all the random spam emails. Honestly, I would do that today, do that right now. My next piece of advice would be to start early. Now is the perfect time in July to gather your materials, get started on applications. Law school applications don't really open until August and September, but most of the essay prompts stay the same, very similar year to year, so you can see what a school did in the past, start brainstorming ideas, maybe drafting some personal statement essays, and then once the application does officially open, you've already got a leg up because you've been brainstorming and drafting. Starting now, starting early is very important because there are a lot of moving pieces. You do have to write a handful of essays for all of these schools. Sure, you can sort of reuse essays from one school to the other, but some schools might have unique essays. So just thinking about it now, maybe doing some research now on what schools you're interested in, gathering materials of items you need is helpful because once the application's open, then you can hit the ground running. Next tip, I would also recommend asking your letter of recommendation writers if they can write you a letter of recommendation now. They don't have to write your letter before August, before the apps open, but I would recommend reaching out to potential letter of recommendation writers. I sent that initial email in the summer, just gauging their interest, reminding them who I was, asking them what materials they would need from me, and then basically saying, I'm applying to law school this application cycle. Would you be able to write me a letter of recommendation this fall? Professors, employers, they are busy people. They might only have a limited number of spots that they write letters for, so you definitely want to get in there early. I remember I emailed one of my professors early, and then when I reminded him about the letter, he said that I was top of the list to write the letters for. He's been very busy because he has like 30 students to write letters for. So I would ask your potential letter of recommendation writers now, get on the top of their list, so when the applications do open, you can remind them that they agreed to write you a letter, send them the additional materials they might ask for, and then hopefully they will submit your letters in a good amount of time so that you can submit your applications. My next piece of advice is that I would recommend taking the LSAT early. For me, I took the June LSAT. I was going to use that score as my highest score in applying to law schools. I felt like taking the LSAT and doing the applications at different times was very helpful. So I was studying for the LSAT January through June of last year, and then I was using July through December of last year to write my essays, work on applications. I thought separating these two really big parts of the application was helpful. Time management wise, focus wise, I only had the one big part to work on, rather than trying to do studying for the LSAT, writing the essays, maybe working or doing classes for school all at the same time in the fall, I think would be very difficult. It would be a lot of time and extra stressful. All of these application components are stressful by themselves, so I liked separating them. I thought that was very helpful. Next up, applying for law school is very, very expensive, so you probably need to start saving money. I have an entirely separate video where I talked about and broke down how much applying to law school cost. It was literally thousands of dollars from taking the LSAT, studying for the LSAT, applying to law schools, submitting applications. All of the different application components definitely add up very, very quickly. So that's something that I didn't really know about before, like genuinely how expensive is it to just apply, and then law school on top of that is also very expensive too. So if you are interested in applying, that is definitely something to think about. Start putting money aside for your applications. The next thing to know is that law school applications are on a rolling admissions timeline. So this is different from most undergrad college applications. There isn't like a priority or special favor given to you if you applied early or later. You just have to apply by the deadline, versus for law school admissions, it is rolling. For each class at each school, they only have a certain number of seats, so you do want to try to apply earlier in the cycle. More seats are open compared to later in the cycle after admissions offers have already been given out. There are less seats open. It might be harder to get one of those seats. So it is said in the law school universe that early applications are September through November. On-time applications are December through mid-January. And then the late applications are like mid-January through March, April, when the cycle closes. So for me, I applied basically on time. I applied to schools at the end of November and then through middle of December. I would say don't rush your applications. For me, November and December was when my applications I felt like were complete. I was confident in my essays, so that's why I submitted then. I wouldn't just rush your application to try to submit it in September if you're not proud of the application, if you don't think it's genuinely a complete application. My next piece of advice would be to follow all of the directions. Things like the font, the spacing, the length of the essay, what the prompt is asking for. These will probably vary school to school, so you do want to read all of the directions. Some schools for their personal statement require 12-point font, other schools require 11-point font. Additionally, even though the personal statement is basically uniform throughout all of the schools, some schools might ask you like a YX statement. Include why you're interested in this school in your personal statement. So you would then have to edit your main personal statement and then delete some stuff in order to add some new information about why you're interested in that school specifically. So even though you can reuse some essays, read those directions, make sure you're not missing anything. So there can be these little differences between schools, so definitely follow these directions. And finally, I would recommend recommend trying to attend all of the law schools that you're interested in if they have any information sessions, in-person sessions, or tours, to try to attend those. A lot of schools are still doing the online Zoom information session. That's a great way to get more information about the school. Sometimes law schools in these information sessions give like insider tips. One of the sessions I attended, the dean said that they like students to submit an additional addenda outlining why they're interested in that law school specifically, but this information is nowhere on their application. That is insider knowledge. If you didn't attend any of these, you wouldn't know that the dean said this. So it's little things like that that they might be talking about in these info sessions, tips for your applications, what they like, what they don't like seeing in applications. So I think those are very useful. I just Google the school and then see what events they're offering. So yeah, that is some advice on applying to law schools. If you have any questions or other videos that you want to see me do, definitely leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Good luck with your applications, and I will see you all next time.